ironing out some of the.
So
yes,
we're
I'll wait.
all three of us have said Dignitas. I'm changing to Endpoint, then Endpoint will win. If it's
okay, I changed to Endpoint as well. Yeah,
done.
Science.
You idiot.
Matt
Smells
comes to
well.
Endpoint.
That's
Matt
great.
Comes to Endpoint.
No, thank you. I'm gonna stay with Camp Dignitas. I'm just a big fan of what Jack and Boreas have going on. That old snooze fest of a player.
Joris Jogtrotter.
He just is constant flip resets. Boring. Okay. I think this is going to be a boring 4-1 win for them. I think they're going to come out and smash it. I think they've probably got a chip on their shoulder from the last performance. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to stick with Dignitas. I can't switch. I think Dig do take it.
You guys are both wrong, but I'm going to give the mic to you. Have a great cast.
Thanks, Matt, also known as Johnny's mate or whatever.
He agreed with you in the end, though, because you said that Dignitas would take it, and then he called us both wrong. So is it going to be a draw? Because by the end of that, I went Endpoint and you went Dignitas. Good choice.
And Violent Panda's going sicko mode, mate. What a start. He got bumped onto that boost, then pre-flips into the double tap.
Oh,
okay.
Panda.
Okay.
He's rolling back the years. He's an old man like you, mate. I bet he's got medals all over the joint.
He's air rolling back the years.
Nice.
I do think that this will be Dignitas. I think they've got a higher ceiling, and that is a really good start for them. They need confidence coming into this. They did, I don't know if anybody knows this, they did get reverse swept to the best of 7 earlier on by Galaxy Racer, and so that confidence is going to be a little bit shot, but I think they can do it. Virtuoso, though, wanting to bring us even, it's 1-1.
This is exactly what I wanted in this series. Both teams getting on the scoreboard quickly. Apparently, Jack just has to stop his car, hoping that Virtuoso isn't going to be coming in. But unfortunately for apparently Jack, of course Virtuoso is coming in that position because he's Virtuoso. That is what he does. And Dignitas now have an even game to play with. Violent Panda is looking very confident. His solo play didn't come off, but the fact that he went for it, it was blocked, and there was apparently Jack.
Honestly, Panda he's found himself not even a new style. He's opened up his horizons. He's broadened what he can do, and it makes him more of a threat. He's able to find the avenues that solo players would go down, but force something to come of it, even if his shot doesn't come out in the end. Like there, Virtuoso went up. It was a good idea to go up, but Jack waited in the middle. His positioning was fantastic, and it does give Dignitas their second goal. Oof. And Jack, we've said it before, has fit on that roster so incredibly well.
Yeah, definitely. Apparently, Jack has 1 or 2 quieter series where he looks a little lost, but that's always going to happen with a new player, especially when they are coming. It has to be said from the ones game, although he's been with the 3 players for a while now, so he's pretty comfortable in this realm, as you can tell from the way he's playing this one. I think to me then, it seems that the key man for Dignitas, well played Virtuoso, is Violent Panda, just because he is playing with so much freedom at the start of this first game. As long as he doesn't slow down or get spooked if 1 or 2 games go against him, or if he misses a sitter, which he can sometimes do with his finishing, then he could be an absolute star man for Dignitas. And the player, if he steps up to anywhere near the mechanical level of apparently Jack and Jorius, then oh my goodness, Dignitas just go from an 8 out of 10 team potential to a 9.5 out of 10 team potential, and then they get really scary.
Oh, that is a pixel-perfect pass from Relating Wave, though. On that right wall, look at him. A challenge there. Come off the wall, pinch it down, and Virtuoso, credit to him for being in the perfect place as well. Has a little angry cloud, gets someone from the net, and now 2-2 again for Endpoint versus Dig. And I think Violent Panda is a player that has molded players to fit him, but equally he takes a lot from the deal as well. He learns so incredibly quickly, and I think previously when we've spoken to Verge, Panda has said, yeah, my mechanics are good enough, and then he quickly learned, oh, no, they're not, and then started to learn as soon as he felt like he was being outsped, and that's something that I do genuinely respect a lot. So hopefully he will continue learning. Jack and Jorius are going to keep stretching him thin.
Violent Panda is the barnacle hanging on to the underside of a whale. Just sipping about in the ocean, learning, trading nutrients. Everyone is a winner from this relationship. And apparently Jack was the winner from this Violent Panda dribble. Look at that. Underneath he goes. There's Jack.
Panda actually landed really well to get that shot, even if Jack wasn't there.
He did indeed. 3-2 Dignitas, 5 goals already. This is going to be a crazy goal-scoring series. I can just sense it. These teams are not here to defend. Not at all. As long as both of them keep scoring and neither one runs away with it. I'm in, man. I'm so in for this series right now.
And Jorius being quite quiet. And that shows that there's a lot that has come out of Panda in recent days. Very, very happy to hear that his thumb has recovered well enough that he can play to this level too. Something that I hope would happen to my thumb as well.
Just remind the people.
Comment.
Yeah, have we talked about that on air? Your thumb?
Yeah, we have. Yeah. Start of like the second show or whatever. I mocked Panda for having a poorly thumb. And then literally later that evening, I chopped the tip of my thumb off when I was cooking dinner.
Yeah,
which was cool.
That's tough, that, isn't it?
It's really tough, yeah.
Sort of
hurts
seems
a lot
deserved.
still.
Yeah, sort of seems like you asked for it.
Some petty people would agree with you. Final Panda did mock me on Twitter for that as well, which was very kind of him.
Yeah. Oh, he's brilliant, isn't he? We love Violent Panda very much indeed. I think Dignitas loving Violent Panda as well, involved in every single goal, but that could be the equaliser for Endpoint. Still plenty of time left. Could have 4 or 5 more goals now, the way this one's going, before the end of this one. It's going to hit the backboard. Virtuoso's arriving. Relating Wave just out to the side. He was instrumental, was Relating Wave, in Endpoint keeping their balance against Runner Vitality, not overcommitting, not getting jumpy when they started winning. His decision-making, absolute quality throughout. Went in as a third man when he should have done, slowed it down when he needed to, so we'll have to have his decision-making just as good today. And also his mechanics, which every now and then can let him down somewhat. Obviously, they're world-class, but just a dodgy miss or a dodgy hit occasionally. If he cleans that up, then again, Endpoint are a team with all the potential.
Endpoint have had such a good run of form where they are beating teams that sometimes they should be losing to a couple of teams maybe they shouldn't lose to, but otherwise they're taking down some big names. Did fantastically in their group. They came top after beating Top Blokes and then Vitality. Really, really great performances from them in Beyond the Summit, in the Rocket League Summit too, and they've been very impressive. I think spurred on somewhat by their new beautiful decal. I think that's gone some way to helping them out.
It's made me better. I used the Endpoint one just because it's beautiful. And I've scored a flip reset in recent times, so I'm laughing too.
But yeah, I've liked that they are seeming to be a different, more confident team because they are so confidence-based. As soon as a couple of things go wrong, Endpoint have one big old cheeky collapse up their sleeve.
Well, are they going to be able to bring this one back? They've got 15 seconds left as Metsonoris goes into this 50-50 with apparently Jack. Virtuoso's choosing to slow it down in the air and then get the dunk. Good play from him, but he's completely out of boost. He's going to be playing in front of the ball, though. So if Metsonoris can win this one, or Relating Wave can send it long. Actually, Metsonoris sort of did send it long in the end. Then Relating Wave fakes. Relating Wave gets it to Vert, and I think there was a big old Dignitas car on the way at the end, but that might have been going in. Squeezing into the corner.
I think potentially that could have got Squoze. All it would need, though, is for the Dignitas defender to jump a bit, because then they've increased their height and the ball can't possibly squeeze beneath them without hitting the floor. So I think regardless, that was a save, but it was maybe less than 0.1 of a second, like in terms of the speed that Virtuoso came in at, that would have meant that he could chip it over. That is how close these Rocket League goals can come down to, and it's so fun to watch them right at the end. But Dignitas, they take game number 1.
Where would you say that one fell on the Squozometer between Never and Inevitable? Can't make me waiting. Everyone needs to know how excited they should retroactively be. Everyone's like, should I be out of my chair? Should I be chilling? What's going on? Maybe.
If I carry the...
Probably.
I'm just thinking, if I carry the 3 and 2.5...
I don't think you carry 3s in maths.
Plus the 9 first. I think, yeah.
Wow. Everybody, if you're not out of your chair right now for the yeah, then get out your chair and say yeah.
Imagine me saying yeah, then someone goes, whoa!
They know how to react. That's it. They were desperate. They have to be told, the Twitch chat, to the people at home. How close was it to being Squoze? Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually. No, I think I'm very impressed with how Dignitas played that first game. That was good game management. They got a couple of amazing goals. I want to see Violent Panda continue to be sick. I want to see Virtuoso continue to be aggressive and get up in their faces. Metsonoris and Jorius to have more of a presence than they did in that game. Just have everybody contributing as much as possible. And Relating Wave to continue gluing his way about because he is absolutely sick.
Yeah, he is indeed. Metsonoris, he did have...
And Jack solo plays.
Purple patches for Endpoint when he first joined them. Mechanically, he was just carrying, to be honest, at times, certainly in the full grid, and to an extent at times in this season's grid as well, or this splits grid, should I say. So Metsonoris can pop off when his team need him to, and it's something we haven't seen for a little while. I hope that we will.
Oh my word, Wave. That was such a nice catch, recovery onto backboard, hit away again, delay dodge to keep it away. In the space of about a second, he got it from coming towards his backboard to back across the halfway line whilst shadowing.
Oh, and then there's a pass that comes in.
Sorry.
Yeah. Go on. Talk about Wave.
He's so overlooked as a player because you've got Virtuoso who's got such a clear style, which is getting a bit more muddied than some would say, but I just think he is managing it better. Yeah, I think he knows the power that he has, and so now he's not just going for silly demos because that was ruining the team every now and then. Metza has got quite clearly better mechanically as well, and is a defensive player with fantastic offensive mechanics. And Wave is always just sort of there, but I do think he very rarely has bad games. I think for me, he is the fairy peak of Endpoint.
I'd agree.
Because he is so consistent, one of the most consistent players, and he is very impressive that when he goes for, when his team aren't playing that well, it won't normally be down to him. He's in great positions. He finds himself on the end of passes. Virtuoso knew where he was going to be, and Wave, as I compliment him, opens up the scoring.
It was Wave's finish, but it was Virtuoso's quick touch there, zipping around the ball. No fear at all that his player Metsonoros is rotating in. Just shows the cohesion that new Endpoint have among one another, and it is Endpoint that take the lead there from your main man, relating Wave. So that's put it away. If he'd have put that one too central, it would have probably been saved. So a little bit of pressure on it. And he managed to do what had to be done, but Dignitas comes straight back until Virtuoso dives in. Virtuoso, who was instrumental in that first goal, and is having yet another good series. He's really found some form recently, Virtuoso. And you said he was muddied earlier, and I said in a good way, and then you went on to explain that you meant that his playstyle was getting a little bit softer, and he was getting a little bit more normal. I completely agree. No?
Not necessarily more normal, just that he knows when to go for demos now when he didn't used to.
That's what I was going to go on and say, yeah. Virtuoso, he's finding his balance under the tutelage of Coach Eclipse, and no doubt just learning himself as well and having decent feedback from his teammates. He is making it so that he is not the problem when Endpoint lose. He can have quiet series. If his demos and bumps aren't effective, then Endpoint can look a little bit toothless at times, but they certainly have developed a plan B in recent months. And he's not going for too many demos and bumps today. He's being speedy. I'd say that he's gone more bull chasey, certainly in this tournament, again in a good way, but not particularly peak, crazy, stupid Virtuoso. But he still has a demo in him, as we saw there.
Yeah, and it's impressive to me that he has learned how to do it. Relating Wave gets his hat trick. That's the third. That demo from Vert to remove Panda from the pitch, then forces Jack into an awkward position, lets the ball bounce up to Wave, who can then score it because Jorius is then forced forwards as well. It's that domino effect that demos can cause. And when done rightly, it will completely throw off the otherwise very well managed Dignitas defense.
What I love as well from Virtuoso, to continue that conversation for a second, is that, almost goes in there from Relating Wave, is that as soon as he'd got his first demo, he rotated out, made sure not to go ball side, sort of did a tight rotation straight back on himself, and as he was rotating out of the play, he did go for another demo just to send the Dignitas player who was starting to come back in to support, send them even wider. So it was clean demoing as opposed to senseless, chasey demoing. And that is where he's improved so much in recent weeks.
Fully agreed. So the final 90 seconds, Dignitas find themselves 0-3 down. They're going to need the goal as soon as possible, but Wave is going to try and keep this ball on that left wing and away. Jorius does get bumped, forces Jack to go up. Wave 60 boost and not do too much with it. Won't go for a bump on anybody at the back despite this maintained pressure. Maybe could have done. Misses the 100 as well, but gets the flip reset. Central, Jorius bumped out the way by Virtuoso. Not a demo, but a bump will suffice.
Oh, we've been reading these all day long at Dignitas, says Endpoint on Twitter. Look at this one. Violent Powder puts it in. Virtuoso could have got there. Relating Wave and Metsonoros race to put it in. And Dignitas' main asset is completely and utterly nullified.
I mean, that was on Panda missing as well, because Panda was there first.
That's less funny.
And if he got the shot, then that was a goal for Dig, and suddenly they're within 2. But regardless, the double commit comes out. Not great, but it does the job.
I mean, you say that if only he hadn't missed, it would have been a goal for them, but that is the danger of the infield pass. If you mess it up in any way, if the angle's not quite perfect, if it's too slow, too fast, if your teammate misses it when he shouldn't have done, then you are screwed, and they were screwed there. So, Endpoint, credit to him. Good read.
Something that I really want to see come off as well is the apparently jacked Jorius pre-jump passing. Because Jorius has been trying to pre-jump pretty much every single pass that's been handed to him. What a pass across between the two. Jack just sends it slightly high, wave onto the backboard. Chance now for Metz to clear it away, and he does so. Oh no, Jorius back in. Flip reset. 1, 2, away from inside the goal. Jack gets the first goal. But yeah,
well done.
I don't know what I was talking about.
Your perfect Christmas.
My perfect Sunday. Now, my perfect Christmas is spent with family, I think, with the dogs there, and I get loads of money.
You just want cash for Christmas.
Cold, hard cash. I either want cash or I want to be given a cash machine and all of their credit cards.
That is wholesome as it gets. The fact that you started off by saying, oh yeah, we're family.
Family's credit cards.
I mean, you are from a family of billionaires, so that's fair. I get that.
Billionaires. You said that like it was two people. Yeah, that's my mate, billionaire.
Your parents, Billy.
Billy. And Air. All right, Air. It's my mum, Billy. So, Cole.
4-1.
It was 4-1 in the end. That was a good performance by Endpoint, and especially relating Wave. Thank you for proving my point, Wave. I appreciate that a lot. I was sort of saying he's a really good glue player, finds himself in the middle and facilitates a lot of the play, but can also have that offensive prowess. But Dignitas, after taking game 1, looked much quieter.
Yeah, relating Wave is more of a post-it note there than a glue player. You put him in where he's needed, and then take him off as soon as he's not. He'll come back when the time is right. Post it.
Like a dirty plaster.
Oh, stop looking at your thumb when you make analogies. A post.
Shall I show my thumb to cam? Anyone want thumb cam? Actually,
I don't think you can do that.
Can't.
I don't think you should do that, actually.
I almost certainly won't, because I'm looking now at our producer's Discord, and I'm waiting for it to unmute him.
Wait, we're looking at Discord. They're all lighting up. There's green lights everywhere. I go, no.
Here's thumb cam. We're off.
So close. Game 3, Stumpy, between Endpoint and Dignitas. I predicted that both of them are going to be playing well today. Would you say that's transpired so far?
Yeah, this seems very Galaxy Racer-y Vitality-esque, where it's going to be seeing a mix of the momentum shifting from each game as the other figures the other one out, and that leads to great gameplay. As soon as one team gets figured out, what can they change? But that's just a miss, and it gives Metz the goal off the side of Jack.
Metsonoris can't believe his luck. He sees Jorius waiting on the backboard, thinks surely there's no chance that Jorius misses that one. I think the Dignitas defender who was there, maybe it was Jack or maybe it was Panda who rotated out from underneath the ball, thought the exact same thing, that there would be no miss, and they were very wrong indeed.
I think that shot was wide. I think Jack actually put it in.
Oh, really? I'm going to be honest, I wasn't even looking at the finish.
I think that was going wide, like post and out. But I couldn't quite see from the angle. Regardless,
that would have made me cry.
Not the start that Dig want at all.
Could be the continuation they want, though. Oh, what a dunk that is from Panda. He's got to finish it. No, Randy Jack does instead. Everyone was desperate for that one.
Fine.
A goal bonanza at the start of game 3, and it's Dignitas that equalise.
Oh, that was a pre-flip dunk too. Wow, Jack came in riskily. He went in quick. Panda was there, quite happy just to wait on the floor and tap it in because there was loads of space. And Jack said, oh, mine. Ends up getting it, and at 4:20, it's 1-1.
What do you think the risk was there? Sorry. So you're saying he went in riskily. Do you mean if he'd missed it, it was a risk?
It's because he went in so quickly that we have actually seen people at this level as well just scoop it high and just send it flying.
I would have to see that. If anybody has an example, please.
It's happened multiple times, like in the RLCS, where it's been going quickly down again, like normally from that sort of waterfall position or off the ceiling, and somebody just misjudges it and will just either send it really slowly and it gets saved. Obviously, keeper wasn't there, so it wouldn't have mattered for that one. Or they just absolutely sky it, or get there a little bit just off time.
Fair enough. Okay, a very risky finish there in front of the goal from apparently Jack. But he's got the mechanics to deal with that open net finish in front of the goal. What a genius.
I don't know why you're saying it like open nets aren't missed. Because they are. People do miss open nets frequently.
I'm saying it was a really good finish from him.
It was. It did end up being a good finish, but Violent Panda was in a safer position.
Okay, well, hopefully Dignitas can continue to play with such bravery to put away the open net opportunities that they get as Metanoris sends a pass to Virtuoso. And the game continues. They're just zipping it about a little bit, aren't they? End-to-end stuff right now. Not too many
the fake.
Connecting passes. They're going for them, though. Every player is looking to spread the ball out as much as they possibly can. Oh, a brave finish from apparently Jack, but it's saved even more bravely from the Endpoint goalkeeper.
That was such a nice chance for a ceiling. We got the ceiling pass off. And it was a shot on target. Metzer managed to save it away, though. But again, ceiling pass is coming out in full force. Panda will catch in the midfield. Jorius goes away from that, though he was me first to it. Has to flick it away. And now it's on Panda at half-time to clear it down the pitch. We'll get the second touch. Dunked by Wave, however. Shot on target. And Wave at full extension can clear it away.
It was like a fireworks display there on the 18-yard box. I don't know who demoed who, but there were just car parts flying absolutely everywhere. So well done for Relating Wave for being alert and knowing that he would be needed to see that one away. And now Endpoint can get another attack going. Metsonora's going to pull out of that one because apparently Jack was beating him. Relating Wave now to the side. Violent Panda's going to try and push this one central, and he will get a second chance to do so. Goes for the flip reset, keeping up his mechanics. He has stayed confident. Despite Game 2 going completely against Dignitas, Violent Panda is still going for these solo plays because he's a little bit of a wild card. When you see Violent Panda attempting a solo play, it's not like Jorius or even apparently Jack where you are scared. You're a little bit trepidatious, thinking, is this going to work? Which ironically makes it harder to position yourself because it genuinely just might not work sometimes.
Oh, that is such a good pass down from Wave, though. And now Metzer catches it in the midfield. But the miss from Panda, as you were saying, I have no idea if he's going to hit it or not. And to me, it's the same logic as Turbo. Will he get the double tap?
Exactly.
I have literally no idea. So you need to position for both.
Oh, good finish.
One thing that you are certain of is when that board is on the backboard, Jack will score them when he's unchallenged.
Absolutely. Dignitas now have finishing boots, and that is so good to say because for so long they have been dogged by poor shooting. Suddenly, and it wasn't just Yukio. Obviously, he had his fair share, but the three of them had missed opportunities historically. And now it seems that Dignitas, one of the massive changes, that they take their chances when they come. Violent Panda has been watching the apparently Jack flick tutorials because look at him put that one top corner. Whoops. Look. Hey!
I don't know how that ball bounced on him so much. In the space of like 0.2 of a second, he went boom, 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 just dribbling on his head. But that flick top corner is perfect placement from him. With under 1 minute 30, that's 2 goals clear for Dignitas. Bit of an awkward air duel for Jack, but does manage to get it away with the dunk as well.
Good touch. Good touch there from Wave to pinch that one down the wing and give Endpoint something to chase at least, a little bit of territory. And then demos are flying in now from Vert, so he has decided to turn on demo mode at a time when he could really use it when they need 2 goals in a minute or so. Smart play again from Virtuoso. Won't necessarily lead to a comeback, but it is at least a shift in the gears that Endpoint can offer. And now chances are raining in for Dignitas.
Panda absolutely spanking that one skyward.
It was a spank, wasn't it?
I like how he tried to go for the Ixo goal of just like tapping it a bit and be like, ooh, look how good and mechanical I am. And he just sends it absolutely flying.
He's a wild card, mate.
Oh, that was funny. I like the attempt. I always will. Getting a touch is better than not as well in that situation. It was just funny to look at.
20 seconds left. It seems that Dignitas are winning this one. Yeah, Metsonora's has just slowed that ball right down. Dignitas should be able to see it away, but that's actually a really good touch from Virtuoso. Met by apparently Jack. Yeah, okay, so this one's over.
That's a bump, though.
Okay. How did that lead to a goal for him?
It was the bump in net. So I think it was Vert who went for the touch, didn't get it, continued, and then went round to Jorius. Perfect.
Fair enough.
Really, really perfect from him. That is exactly what he has to do. I think a lot of players there would have maybe gone for the boost steal or something. Maybe at 0 seconds, almost everyone would have bumped. But it was a great idea for him to go for that. Now it's only 1 goal separating them. Vert up to the double. Metzer central. Vert is not quick enough to get there. 0 boost per Wave, but it can end up just finding that Dignitas defender. Panda over the top. Game number 3 secured for Dig.
The second 3-2 victory in the series for Dignitas puts them 2-1 up in the series. And it was a little bit scarier than it perhaps should have been for them. But I think, yeah, credit to Virtuoso for giving Endpoint CeX a chance there. Right. Were you watching it going in again?
8 shots. No, Jack 8 shots. And Jorius was 0.
Okay.
Jack got 2 more shots than every other player on the pitch combined. He was aggressive. What an aggressive young gentleman.
He was an aggressive young gentleman. I didn't specifically notice him playing so aggressively. He must be feeling it. He's got the bit between his teeth. So it's definitely something to keep an eye out for in future games in this series. Because you don't get 8 shots by accident. That is a choice, a decision, a play style change there from apparently Jack. And Jorius has at times been a little bit greedy. He's wanted the ball a bit too much when Dignitas have been struggling. He really seems to be slotting more into the team mantra in recent times.
I mean, he's been very slow in this series. I've not seen anything really from him. He whiffed off the backboard, gave the first goal up to Endpoint. He's not been impressive to me whatsoever in this series, and there's a lot more that can come from him. Hoping he's not having a slower day, because he has had them recently. But there's a lot more that he can offer. I'm sure he knows that. I'm sure everybody on the pitch knows that as well. And Endpoint hoping he doesn't figure out how to turn it back on. And Panda and Jack seem to be quite happy continuing as just the two of them for now. Hoping, though, that if they can get Jorius to turn it back on, then it's going to be an easy win for them.
Yeah, well, I think what Endpoint are doing is trying to close down the ball as quickly as possible whenever it goes anywhere near Jorius, which is super smart play from them. There are two ways to defend a player like him. One of them is to close him down at source. The other is to just camp yourself in goal and assume that he will get the wonder touch, so you're ready to clear it away. They're going for option A, but even despite that, Jorius does have the mechanics to wriggle his way out of all sorts of crazy situations. So I'm sure we will see him having a bit more of a say in an attacking sense as this series goes on. You can see him there trying to dribble, and now Dignitas, they've got a lot of pressure to play with.
I saw bouncing just inside the net slightly. Virtuoso pinches it off to clear it away. Relating Wave drops it low. That is up for Metza to get the dunk. Doesn't manage to as Jorius clears it away. Apparently Jack will beat Wave there. Sends it long. Can get caught by Virtuoso at the back. Sends it long again. Wave, though, I imagine is very low on boost. Can't seal that back 100 either. And so pumped back into the Endpoint half.
Great catch, though, from Metza, who will more than happily send it forwards again. Instead, he went to catch it and then flick it, and Jorius was reading that one all the way. Dignitas looking the more likely right now, just seem to be a little bit more in shape. Their attacks seem to have a bit more zip about them, and the end player is there more often than not, whereas for Endpoint, it's more of a 2-1 formation with two players back at any one time. Jorius, in an instant, gets himself involved.
That's who I want to see. I want to see these passing plays. Jorius up with a bit of finesse, sends it over Wave and below the crossbar. Quick as you like, Dignitas getting a goal, and Jorius, maybe that's the first spark in the fire. No. Oh,
No,
it's
that's
wide.
wide. Oh,
No, it's not wide. No, fair enough. Mate,
From-
tell you what, the Wave extinguishes that fire.
Nice. It took 2 attempts, though, for the Wave to extinguish that fire. They had to go and get the second fire extinguisher and use that
That's a wave.
second... Oh, like a wave of ocean.
Why would we say of ocean? Surely the sentence is of water. Obviously, it's of water.
The oceanic wave there.
could
Pouring
be a lake.
itself on
Lakes
the
have waves.
candle wick
The
of
rivers?
flame. The rivers have waves.
Rivers must have waves.
This sounds like an ancient proverb. I don't know.
Okay.
Everyone, no one be greedy. That's what it teaches you, to rivers of waves. Make sure you share.
No. It's Christmas. Christmas is not a time for sharing. Oh, the Panda will share that ball with Jack, who pumps it top bin, son.
That was a pump top bin, son. The perfect pass. Oh, that's just angling right onto his nose. And apparently, Jack, how do you angle that in the top corner from there? What a finish again from Dignitas.
It's time for sharing, mate. And Violent Panda has showed me exactly why. That was my Scrooge moment. And I have seen what the world is like when everybody passes. And Violent Panda, it's a world that I want to live in.
You've seen the ghost of Dignitas' future, and it involves infield passes at a 45-degree angle as opposed to a 90-degree angle.
Yeah,
and they just send it flying in.
I've seen the ghost of Christmas pass.
That's good.
Thanks.
Endpoint. Going to try and pass the Dignitas defense, but Dignitas are holding firm. Virtuoso, is he going to be coming in here? No, it's Metza that gets that one. The ball just being sprayed from left to right. Not really doing too much. Virtuoso snaps it. This is a game of boomers, Stumpy.
Oh, on the clock as well. 2-2-0-2-2.
2-2-0-2-2.
Wow, I love it when it's a rhythmic clock. What a shot that is. Top corner again. This is just haymakers. Everybody's sending mortars down range, hoping they can collapse the enemy defense. And thus far, both shots that have been sent have done just that.
It's like they've all got boxing gloves on springs. You go boing, and it's just powering the ball into the corner. I want to save there from Metza. A slightly more slower finish there. Attempt from apparently Jack is saved equally. Only 90 miles per hour plus boomers can go in. Do you remember Fruities on Neo Tokyo a couple of seasons ago?
I do, from the wall.
Yeah, from like the far corner, and it just it barely even arced from one side of the pitch to the other. That was ridiculous. I still think that's the fastest finish we've probably ever seen.
Did that come from? Was that like number 3 as like goal of the season as well or something? It did really well, whatever it was in.
I think we made it our goal of the season.
Oh yeah, that's what we did. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing official.
Was it our goal of the season?
It was. We because we've been tracking them all season, and then we just asked people to put them in order. It was fun.
Right. That was for our YouTube channel, wasn't it? That people I'm sure can Google.
When that existed.
Oh, what a world. Final minute. Both these teams now drawn up. Dignitas, though, with the series lead 2-1. Whoever wins, they're going to be going through and facing Vitality in the winners' finals. Very Peak thought it would be Endpoint. But Dignitas making a great case. And I thought that was wide.
It's because Virtuoso has been listening. He knows that only shots bulleted into the top corner count. That is why he did the needlessly good finish off the post. Why not? The perfect strike there when he had the open goal.
I mean, Metza just shanked it.
He did, didn't he? It's because he tried to get it in the top right corner when he didn't have to.
But now that's Endpoint 1 goal ahead with 40 seconds left.
This is absolute boomergate, this game. That one's too slow. This will be fast enough, though. Endpoint running away a bit at the end.
Gosh. Oh, Joris, what's that, mate? Oh, that's a good intercept from Metz, to be fair. And Vert got the bump on Panda, who could then go in for the shot.
Yeah. Nice indeed. Not the best touch there from Joris, and then he bumped Violent Panda, as you said. And then suddenly Endpoint, 2 goals up. Now they just have to show their game management. Do you back them? Endpoint, 2 goals up, 30 seconds left.
Yeah, I'd back most teams at this point, to be fair. It's statistically unlikely, probably, that any team does manage to come back from it.
Let's see if Dignitas can at least give it a go. That touch isn't the one that Violent Panda needed. It seems that Endpoint will indeed be able to see this one away, and it is the sort of series we expected. 1 game each, pretty much. Dignitas the first, Endpoint second, Dignitas third, and now Endpoint fourth with a victory margin of 2 goals, maybe 3. Go on, Mets, get that pre-jump. Oh, unlucky. Oh, ball still up.
Oh, grow up.
Oh, why would you save that? Oh, shame.
There we go, there we go. The rule 1, though, was respected. They kept the ball up at 0 seconds. You got to love it. An Endpoint, they take the 4th game. That puts them at 2-2 in the series. And, Cole, are you still feeling confident about the Dignitas pick?
Was Dignitas my pick in the end? I flip-flopped. I think I changed to Endpoint.
Oh, I didn't listen.
So what happened was I picked Dignitas, but 4-3 with both teams playing really well and scoring lots of goals, which, by the way, is happening.
Seems good, yeah.
And then you flipped on it, and we didn't get people running. We got back, and back meant Dignitas, and I said, Dignitas are back. That's how I remember that, because I made that great joke. And then Smellsworth, we expected him to make it Endpoint to balance things out, but he went Dignitas as well. And then I said 100% Dignitas, but that's not fair, because it's so close. I'll change to Endpoint. And then you copied me, expecting Smellsworth to copy you
for the joke, because then
have 100%,
it would be,
and he said no.
Cool. Yeah,
so I'm Endpoint.
He didn't go to the improv school. He went with the yes and. He went for the no but. So we don't respect that. I think in the end then I went for Dignitas because that's who I actually thought was going to win in the end.
Okay.
I said that at the end of the thing, I believe.
Oh, you did right at the end. You flip-flopped together, and then he said that we were both wrong, and I was confused by that. Oh, memories are fun, aren't they?
They are fun. What a world we live in. Now, it's 2-2. I think Dig. You think End. Chat, what do you think? I'm keeping an eye on. A lot of people asking for DR Asterix's PS. Don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know what that is. So make sure you keep asking for them. But otherwise, what do you reckon? Dignitas or Endpoint?
Asterix is a character in a comic. It's Asterisks.
Asterix.
Important distinction there. I think Endpoint are going to win this one. They seem like they're playing very well and they have a balance, and we've now had Virtuoso with a hat-trick 700-point game. We've had Relating Wave, who can be Endpoint's quietest player when they're not playing very well, have a pop-off 700-point hat-trick game. It's a really good sign when 2 players get that involved in individual games, and they've won the shootouts as well. So for that reason, I'm going to go Endpoint.
I think you're wrong. That's why I think it's going to be Dignitas.
Just as a general rule.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chat seem to be saying Dignitas are going to choke. And I think a few of them are going Endpoint, but maybe it's majority Dignitas. But it's very close regardless. So chat are also split.
Okay. Cool. Well, this game has started off decently for Endpoint, getting a little bit of pressure there. in the corner. I'm just looking to see their composition. Are they going to try and really up the pace, or are they going to try and just see it away and continue to beat Dignitas when the chances come? Because they can be explosive when they play fast at Endpoint, and the game gets scrappy. They're one of the best teams, certainly in Europe, at playing the ugly game. Apparently, Jack, see you later. What a bump from Mets.
It didn't take them too far, but I like that he went for it just to clear out the midfield in case it was needed. It's those avenues that can get cleared out that you don't think of at the time, but if the ball found its way there, Metzer would have been a prophetic genius. But a chance from Jorius to Jack, who then misses it. Vert had to hold his nerves so much there, hoping that Jack didn't get the shot.
Yeah, that was actually really good defending from Virtuoso. We had a decision to make, and he made the right one. Credit, though, to apparently Jack for staying there and going for that backflip. So close. And to be fair to Violent Panda, that was not an easy finish at all, the goalkeeper there from that distance. This one should be easy for a player like Jorius until up pops Virtuoso. Didn't even get a save for that, but you have a save in my heart, Vert.
This is Virtuoso again. Gets the flip reset. He faked to go high. Oh, and then gets the dunk, but Jorius from the post can clear it out. But the attack continues for Endpoint.
There have been some such mean saves today from beautiful goals, and that was yet another one. Quality play from Virtuoso after making that huge defensive stand, but now it's Dignitas on the other side. End to end as it gets right now. Beautiful, attacking, fun Rocket League from both teams. Pops off to the side. This is a risky 50-50 for Metsonoros with no boost. I don't think he enjoyed going for that ball at all, but it's worked out in the end with a Virtuoso pass to Metsonoros, and now Endpoint can build something.
It's one of those challenges where you go in for it with low boost and you cannot change your mind. That's one. You can't change your mind, because then if you do, it's the worst decision rather than just committing to it. You have to follow up. But Metzer with a long shot can't quite get the power on it to beat Violent Panda, who will then clear it to the corner. Relating Wave is there to poach, and Jack with a good touch doesn't make that hit the ceiling. Metzer on full stretch clears it away from the goal. With 3 minutes gone, we're yet to see the opener.
We're also yet to see too many infield passes from Dignitas. I think they have been somewhat spooked to do them in this series after Metsonoros read the one in Game 2 or whenever it was. So they've slowed down with that. They're opting more for solo plays, which I'm completely okay with. In a time like this, where the series could go either way, mixing up your playstyle can be important, especially when Endpoint are playing so well. And we all know that Dignitas do have it in their locker to go solo, especially don't forget as well how Violent Panda started this series. So a good decision there in my opinion.
Yeah, everyone does seem a bit more muted, but Relating Wave taking full advantage of that, because he manages to get the first goal. Great interception from Mets, followed up by Bert.
Yeah,
all three Endpoint guys in that final third is very risky, but to have the belief that that would just fall in your favor is very impressive from them all.
And you got to have the confidence there to put that one away. And Relating Wave had it. He scored plenty this series. Apparently, Jack does have the ability to magic the ball onto his hood. There is an infield pass attempt. It's going to come straight back to Violent Panda, but the angle was a little bit high. And then he's demoed on the way back. Oh, what a shot from Wave.
That was going top corner. That one just above the goal as well. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the infield passes so far haven't been coming off because they're all just slightly off. It's just behind the attacker. It's not playing through the play. It's trying to hit the ball directly at where the player already is, or there's miscommunication as someone's trying to rotate back, but a pass is then sent their way. So they're not quite working as well as they normally would. And Endpoint haven't been challenged too much defensively, at least for like really, really terrifying shots. The Border spent a lot of time in their back third, but not a huge amount of shots coming at the net.
They are, however, being kept honest with their defense. Can't just predict Dignitas putting it into the center. Have to see both potential options happening, which could be an advantage for Endpoint, especially if they can get this one away. But what a spawn from Jorius. Didn't live long, but while he was about, he did at least get an important touch to set Dignitas on their way. It's going to be apparently Jack, another really cute couple of touches. Almost steers it round the corner. Had a periscope on the ball there to see around that one, but it's not quite worked, and Virtuoso can slow the game down.
That was good time wasting from Vert. Final 5 seconds. Can Dig get a goal? Metzer sends it to the sidewall just to keep it away. Goes for the dunk as well. It won't go in, but that is gorgeous game management from the Finnish lad. And that game finishes with Endpoint taking it one more, and they have the honor of playing Vitality.
the slowest game, the most tactical game in the series so far. I think Endpoint were trying to speed things along, and at times they were up there with the pace. The goal that they scored was all three of them, quick tap, tap, taps. But for the most part, it was a little bit more defensive, a little bit more considered and careful. Solo play starting to rein in, which normally, you said at the top of this broadcast, Stumpy, that you would back Dignitas in a mechanical brawl, but Endpoint more than holding their own in that regard now.
To me, it seems like some of the cohesion with Dignitas isn't quite there. I would also say that Endpoint are very much playing around them. They're playing much better. They seem to be more at home in that scrappy, silly style where a bounce goes weird and yet somehow Endpoint have read it. Dignitas needed to be slightly cleaner, and that is not what this series has ended up being. Previously, Dignitas beat Endpoint. That was the latest result. However, they've played them once in winter across the entirety. That's the winter RLCS as well. In the entirety of fall, they've played them once. That's it. They only played them once in fall, and two of them were from grid, so not even the main RLCS. These guys don't play each other often, but it's normally great games when they do happen. The last best of 7 they played, if people can remember, the spring series. That's the last time. So there's not much data to go off, but both teams doing well to get to the amount of games they currently have. One more for Endpoint. They go through to face Vitality, but I want to see more cohesion from Dig.
They've certainly got that in their locker. They've been playing that way all day long. Finally, one's landed. Joreous, an easy finish, 1-0 Dignitas.
Maybe, though, Cole, we just see a day of 4-2s.
Don't make me dream. Stop it.
Why is that such a good result for you?
Because it will be remembered forever. Everyone loves 4-2s. It's the most interesting result. You talk. I'm writing down who scored.
Okay, nerd. We're going to talk about video games, idiot. Oh, Jack. Oh, goes for the musty. And then the fake. I mean, I say the fake. The ball was just going too fast. He couldn't quite get there. But it was technically a fake in the end. Jack went central again, but Panda was rotating back. Where's the communication to say he isn't there anymore?
Yeah, and we certainly know that apparently Jack can do the solo plays. Not like he's a one-trick pony at all. Even though I joked about him being one yesterday with his flicks, he is, of course, such an intelligent player. And Dignitas do have the lead on the cusp, almost, of turning this one into a 7-game series, which would, I will admit, be fairly entertaining the way these teams are playing. I could sort of go for some of that right now. I won't go that far. Obviously, 4-2 is more exciting. But in this instance, this feels like a 4-3 kind of series to me.
I think there's a crazy part of you that genuinely believes that a 4-2 is better.
I've made myself believe it. I've said it so many times now.
You read it on Facebook once, and now it's like, yep, that's true.
Apparently, Jack's catches mesmerize me. No matter how little boost he has, no matter what crazy angle or crazy speed the ball is going at. And that was...
Yeah, that's not done well. But before that, my word!
Up until that point, he was catching everything. Chat's going to tell me that he wasn't Chat's going to tell me that he wasn't trying to catch that one, and he was actually trying to put it floatingly.
Actually, he only had 73 boost, and you can't catch the ball on 73 boost. It's a bug in the game.
The game is bugless and perfect, I will have you know, Stumpy. There it is. That's better from Violent Panda. Good catch from him into the corner. It's just Dignitas just prodding at their opponents right now. I don't feel like they're really committed to any of these attacks. The exciting thing happens when they do decide to commit. We saw it from Vitality earlier, where suddenly they were connecting with everything in the final third. Hopefully, Dignitas will have a similar turn of pace in their locker should they choose to use it. But they're certainly remaining slow and careful so far in this game. Comfortable with their 1-0 lead. I'm not sure I like that. I think I'd prefer to see them start speeding up now when they have this lead in the locker. What do you think?
I mean, they're poking, and I think it's doing an okay job. Panda hasn't looked comfortable receiving the ball at any point. He's tried to hit it away as soon as he possibly can. I don't quite know what that says about him, but that's a nice shot, and it will set up Jack as well. I guess the prods are working.
Yeah.
They're sending Endpoint into dodgy situations. 2 players commit to that save. That is a very good bounce for Dignitas in the end. Wave sees it, hoping that it doesn't go back behind him because he's not opted to go for the save. Maybe should have done regardless, because either it's in or it's coming out awkwardly because of how tight the angle was. But it's easy to say that when you've just seen where the ball ends up bouncing. Post reads are so hard. And Dignitas, as we approach 90 seconds, and again have the lead.
Absolutely. That goes to show what I know, doesn't it? Because Dignitas, they did have the lead, and without really expelling any energy at all mentally, they've doubled it. A simple goal. I think they believed that eventually Endpoint would give something away and get a little bit frustrated. And that's exactly what's ended up happening here. So the way this game has gone, I would be amazed if Endpoint could get a couple of goals back. Of course, it only takes one sudden one, and the whole dynamic can shift. But as of right now, it seems that the Dignitas defensive, not even stronghold, just clean Rocket League, is too strong for Endpoint to deal with in this game.
I don't even think it's that clean. I think, for me, it's playing keep away. But it's sort of playing keep away from themselves as well.
Calling them fat little gingers.
Like, Panda, mainly, is hitting the ball away from him. He doesn't want it. He's like, no, there you go. Darius, take it. I don't want it back. I've rotated. I don't want it. I don't want it anymore. And it's working, ultimately. Like, you can't really complain. But it's a very different style to the solo play confidence they had before.
Here we go.
Darius from the ceiling. Opts to not go for the flip reset. Takes it low. Completely bamboozles Metanora's. And the jingle boobles do well.
Ah, there he goes. Metanora's is trying to track Jorius, but Jorius just about managed to catch up with that errant ball and slam it home. And Dignitas are going to take game number 6.
Oh, bold claim.
I just... There is no part of me. I mean, it's slightly less of a bold claim.
That is a bold claim, Cole. I don't know why you think that.
Are you happy to put a cap on this game now that apparently Jack has scored that?
You know, I don't think I am. I think I'll stick to my convictions.
All right, I'll tell you what, in that case then, mate, you can cast this last 30 seconds as if it's the...
Okay, nice and close. Grand finals.
Okay, all right, you start.
Okay, now we need 1 goal from Endpoint and then 3 more, hoping they can secure the overtime at minimum. Virtuoso on that left wing can get it high, loads of boost as well. Will fake out one relating wave, gets it over the top of Jack as well. But the demo central and Violent Panda could be the win for Dignitas. Sent down that wing, now Violent Panda is up. Medicine Norris very cleverly takes it around the side. Virtuoso just millimeters away from securing the first of 4 needed for Endpoint CeX. Violent Panda drops it low, back central from Jack, not an advice touch. But as that goes, flying back to the Endpoint half, Virtuoso can keep it up. A single goal needed. Can it happen? Not quite. Virtuoso again on target, just wide. Above the crossbar, and finally touched down Dignitas. How do they do it time and time again? This is Rocket League! Virtuoso! My dog gave me a look there of like, what are you doing? Why did you wake me up?
There's a lot of Justins coming out in chat, which makes me very excited indeed.
God darn!
Justin!
Can everybody tweet Callum the Shogun just saying this is Rocket League? Can you tweet them all right now?
And spell it in different ways. Whenever I spell this is Rocket League, I spell it THISSYROCKYLIG. Like, this is Rocky League.
Cole, can you tweet it at him now? Can we get everybody in chat just to type this is Rocket League or some variation and then hashtag Rocket League Summit?
This is Rocket League. Hashtag Rocket.
Yep. So at Callum the Shogun, this is Rocket League, spelled however you want.
Summit.
Just make it weird because he screamed it. Hashtag Rocket League Summit. Because Shogun needs to be reminded of what the game is.
Important distinction, the at Callum the Shogun should go at the end, so that if anyone follows you, they can see it if they don't follow Shogun as well.
You think anybody in chat has followers?
Yes, I do think that R3Nix_SP or whatever his name was has at least 6. There you go.
At least 6 followers. I'm looking at the hashtag too. People are tweeting it. Good.
I've self-liked mine.
Fill his notification box. That's what we need. Good stuff. Now, Cole, we go into game number 7. This is where one team will be winning out. Do you still back your Endpoint, lads?
Yes, they will have to step up big time compared to that game, but that was not what the doctor ordered. An early goal for Jorius, and game 7 starts off with a bang for Dignitas.
What a start. Jorius, look at him send himself completely off kilter as well. The power from that shot was just too much. And in 9 seconds, Dignitas take the lead. I think for me, the game management from Dignitas was absolutely sensational in that first one. In game number 6, rather. It was so well done. Endpoint, about game management of their own, and they can pull out magic out of anywhere. Game 7's going to be great no matter who wins it.
Yes, precisely. We just have to hope the Endpoint can at least break through the Dignitas shell in this game, which they could not do on Neo Tokyo. One would imagine they'll be able to. They wouldn't be able to hold them out twice in a row, Dignitas, surely. We will see. Virtuoso wants this one. Relating Wave puts it up for Virtuoso. Really smart play there. Is he going to be turning around? He's not. Oh, lovely touch from Metz. But Virtuoso had pulled himself out of the game, and Relating Wave, probably correctly, didn't charge in there. And everything ends up as it was, really. 1-0 still for Dignitas.
I'm retweeting so many different Rocket League variations.
I love that. That is perfect.
Coming.
You keep an eye on that, mate. I'll keep an eye on this. And between us, we've got both threads covered.
I love
which is a good thing.
I love it. It's been a great game so far. I think it's looking a little bit like Pokey Dignitas again, where they're just trying to find that hole, trying to exploit it as much as they can. And Endpoint just trying to find their way out. But a decent amount of boost for Wave here. But Jorius can just send it long. And those long clears, I think I was being a bit short-sighted by saying to Panda, or saying about Panda earlier, he's just sending it away. Every now and then he just was. But also, he's showing that Endpoint need to keep somebody far back, because it's going to keep being punted far away often.
Ooh, that's such a scary touch. It might be in as well. I think it was Relating Wave who just spooned that up so temptingly onto the backboard. There he goes. Apparently, Jack, look at the finish, though. The read, not just to connect, but to slam the ball down at full power. A beautiful finish from apparently Jack.
Oh, that was so nice. That was such a perfect shot from him. To beat our Metzer as well, Dignitas showing up in full colours. The 2 minutes gone, they get 2 goals. Relating Wave with a miss, though. Endpoint just begin to collapse.
And a goal each for the Dignitas boys too. Apparently, Jack, a decent win there. But Relating Wave should be connecting with that one 100 times out of 100. Not to be on this occasion. And Violent Panda with the simplest finish he will get all day. And Stumpy, we're not even at half-time yet. And Dignitas have got a 3-goal lead. You're in the Endpoint HQ now. You're speaking to them. What do you have to say to these guys? Is it just pure pace to try and get anything?
Right. So to get the solution, you must first know the problem.
We've already wasted 30 seconds, but carry on.
Okay. I just started speaking philosophically.
They're watching you. They've all turned their attention. They've turned away from their screens at Elan to watch Coach Stumpy. Meanwhile, the game goes on beneath them.
Sun Tzu once said, don't get bumped above your own goal. And Metznora goes, oh, that's a really good point. I didn't realise that. And I think 4 goals is insurmountable. You press T, you type GG's, you press enter, and you don't leave early. You wait in the lobby because you're a good person. No, I think... For me, Sun Tzu, he did the Art of War, right?
Yeah. I was just going to say that was a Sun Tzu quote. Leave the lobby, press T, press GG. Sorry, stay in the lobby because you're a good person.
Leave the lobby first. Sun Tzu, he played an older version of Rocket League where you could leave the lobby first.
Sport,
so what's the problem? The problem is there's a lot of panic on defense for Endpoint, because there's just little bits of prodige coming in from Dignitas. How do you deal with the prodige? You make it so that you shut down Dignitas as early as pops. How do you do that? You try and get some boost control. So my first thought is, grab the boost on your way through. It's a game of attrition. And I think right now, Endpoint are getting the touches when they can get the touches rather than forcing themselves onto them. I think also Dignitas are playing a brilliant game, I should also say. It's not Endpoint dropping at all. It's Endpoint playing, it's Dignitas playing fantastically. So maybe it's try and grab some boost on your way through, get some bumps, disrupt, so that the pokes aren't quite as clean. And Virtuoso, touch the ball.
He's got a save. Apart from that, it's zeros all over the board. Endpoint, there is still the faintest of hopes until maybe this hits about 1 minute, but it's not looking like a goal for them is imminent. Dignitas doing so well, covering every single position, being everywhere. The Endpoint don't want them to be. Even Relating Wave beats the midfield to the ball of Dignitas. There is the goalkeeper there. He is comfortable. He is solid. He's playing with belief. Violent Pandas, apparently Jack is charging them down together. But Dignitas are surely winning this one. And it has been a top performance. I said by 1 minute. Oh, so close.
Oh, that's such a pass. That would have been fantastic if Metz got on the end of it. He can't be to blame for not, because it was tapped away by Wave in the end. But look at this game management now from Dignitas. Just absorbing some pressure, getting in the way nice and early, but also not committing too hard to any of the plays in particular. Look, Jack slowing it down and forcing Vert to have to come in. He's wasted 5 seconds there, and he has done nothing. That's brilliant.
Yeah. Quality play. It's over now. Dignitas have won this one out, and they will be going to the winners' finals to face Renault Vitality, Stumpy. Dignitas versus Vitality. That's old school, man.
That is old school. That's like Season 9 vibes.
Season 9 EU final when Dignitas finally beat them. I think it was 4-1. They smashed them after having about 10 attempts and just about missing. What a fake there, by the way, from apparently Jack. Just to really add insult to injury to Endpoint. This feels good for Dignitas as well. Extra good because, of course, they had the collapse on this very map against Galaxy Racer.
Yeah, I think the mentality for Dignitas has improved so much. And what a performance it ended up being. A 4-0 in a final game where it was an absolute schlam fest from both teams is great. Well done to Dig. They've won it out.
This is, as the ball ends, they are respecting rule number 1, the oldest rule of all. A huge victory for Dignitas. 4-3, exactly what we wanted, Stumpy.
Yeah, I think also, I know also, that's not Dignitas out. Sorry, that's not Dignitas out, obviously, they just won. That's not Endpoint out. They go down into the lowers, and they are going to be facing off against Guild, whereas Dig move on, and they're going to be playing against Renault Vitality. Everybody else, though, the Rocket League is not ho-ho-hover.
That you can't say.
There's more after the break.
No, it's dead.
Join us soon. Come back after the break. The break is now. Come back after it.
Welcome back, chat, to the Rocket League Summit 2 Championship Sunday. We're fueled by Monster Energy and sponsored by Juke.gg. It's your boy Smellsworth, and I'm here with Cole and Stumpy. Gentlemen, this was Rocket League.
It ended up being Rocket League, but actually definitely not. It was, in the end, a performance from Dignitas to shut out Endpoint. It was very, very well played. Finally, a couple of dodgy plays, I think, from both teams in the end, but I think that series will be remembered for the sheer amount of bangers we managed to witness.
Oh, yeah, particularly on that game on Utopia Coliseum where every single finish went steaming into that top corner, normally from before the halfway line. Absolutely top quality stuff from both teams. I think Endpoint ran out of puff a little bit, but even if they had against a team less good than Dignitas, they may still have been able to grind out a victory, but Dignitas were not having any of that, making no mistakes towards the late stage of the series today. And Smellsworth, I love the fact, by the way, that this is Rocket League has gone full circle. It started off being cool, then it got annoying, and now I think it's finally time that it's back to being cool. It's like the Borat voice. It's cool again. It's trendy in 2020.
You've just used the word trendy in 2020.
It's pretty hip.
It's pretty hip, guys.
Do you see why my job is so hard, Smellsworth?
Yeah, to follow
absolutely.
that.
Yes,
What a great
definitely.
segue I've just done.
Yeah, no, I think that yeah, you're just so brilliant that it makes us feel like, what are we gonna say? You just suck the air out of the room, buddy. It's very difficult to deal with. You know, the one thing that phrase is good for is if you're just really tired of having Shogun around, you just, pull that phrase out. This is Rocket League, and he will run for the door, digital, physical, wherever.
He bounces like the ball-shaped head man he is.
Yes,
he is, yeah.
Absolutely. Would you guys say that Dignitas in this victory are playing well enough to, continue to see victory, or do you think that they need to clean some things up? Because it seemed to be quite an emotional roller coaster for Dig fans.
I mean, they got better as the series went on, which is something that I really appreciate, especially as I mentioned at the end of the cast there, the fact that they'd done the exact opposite against Galaxy Racer. So any cobwebs that they had as part of them were just completely blown away from that instance. And I think the fact that they're up against the old guard in Renault Vitality, their old enemy, certainly for Violent Panda, is going to spur them on to improve even more. There is no... They're going to have to be beaten. They're not going to not turn up against the Renault Vitality that, despite that win against Galaxy Racer, is still beatable at the moment. And I think Dignitas will do everything they possibly can to take this chance. And honestly, I'd back them. I'd back them in that series.
I think the Vitality know how to beat Dignitas. I think they're a known enemy, and they are pretty much aware of the shortcomings of that team. Does that change having Jack in there? But then is that countered by the fact that Jorius did start slow and then ramped up? Does Jorius continue to ramp up, or does he start slow against Vitality? I don't know. I'd still edge Vitality on it. I think it will be a close series, however, because Vitality are somewhat slumped. It's close to Christmas. You know, you're allowed to be. It's fine. But
Yeah.
I do think that Vitality still pip Dignitas in that regard. I'd like to see much more come out of both teams, though.
Well, we'll get to find out soon after the break what happens next. Stick with us, folks. More Rocket League action soon.
Yeah.